Good morning, happy Friday, Friday the 17th of April. That's the date stamp. Who's in? Who's in for the Friday finale? Only of this week though, only of this week. This is the preamble, pre-broadcast, broadcast, where we all file in an orderly fashion with Bob LaVenture on the door, and where I just glance to see who's coming in, who wants to say hello. I won't drive you all nuts by saying all the names, but I'd like to acknowledge and welcome you properly. And I generally do that by way of geographic location, so we get the sense of where we all are. Currently got Wales, Northumberland, Kent, Shrewsbury. We renamed Shrewsbury with two O's rather than EW. Wendy and I did that several weeks ago now, just because we can. More Wales, and we have Hungary in the room today. Hello Clara, I've got to say hello Clara, all the way from Hungary. Lovely to see you, thanks for joining. From yesterday's limerick about Carol from Hove, she's joined us this morning and stepped away from her stove. It's important to, be silly, especially during these times. And I need to say hello, Susan Finnegan. Great to see you. Thanks for coming in. And my mum's in the conservatory. Anyway, come on everyone. And I said after saying I wasn't going to say your names, I caught Jane doing a sneaky 11 p.m. snack last night. That's what I call catch up. So she caught up at 11 o'clock last night on the 4 p.m. I happened to be online as well. So that was funny. I'm seeing you all hours. In Jammies in Dundee. That's all right, Dundee. Jammies are good. Bolton's in. Come on, Bolton. And I think this is the 1 minute warning before we commence our morning snack today. A few more seconds. Hardcore morning snackers coming in now. You're on my list of routiners. How's everyone feeling? Generally, after all this stuff, we've had loads of comments, loads of really good positive comments about moving better, about the physicality, the physical benefits of this, but also the social benefits and the emotional benefits as well. I keep saying it's a benefits bag, and it's a bag for life. At the minute, it's a bag for this thing we're in, but all the gains that you're achieving here is in the bags for life bag, without a doubt. Sheila, Leslie, the Warriors, right there, Leslie. So last few seconds and then we'll give it a whirl. Shall we? It's a 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Good morning, my name's Beck Sownley from Later Life Training, and it's give you the date stamp. It's Friday the 17th of April, and it's the morning, the 8 p.m. movement snack. I've just got some stats here. This is our 76th movement snack. We're coming to the end of week 4. And that, in context of movement minutes that you have accumulated, is 12 and a half hours. 12 and a half hours based on these 3 sets of 10 minutes per day. There's so much to say about that. It's not just the accumulation of the time, but the way in which you are doing it. These frequent little bouts and periods of 10 minutes. Just the structure of that in itself has incredible benefits for our health, our physiology, our mind, all that stuff. Just too many benefits to mention. Should we do it? We're going to do our usual morning mobility routine. I'm gonna give it a bit of a twist, and by the twist, it's really kind of the words and the hooks that I hang stuff on, and it relates to the post I actually put up last night. There's a video there on how to get up from the floor. And I just want to highlight how all of this stuff that we're doing not only directly relates into our standing and our seated activities, but also our activities of lying. That could be in the bath, that could be in bed, that could be on the floor. So we're not going to get on the floor. That would be too much of a mammoth task and not appropriate in this medium of video. But I just want to crowbar in loads of reference points to that. Have a listen out. Maybe we'll have a quiz, I don't know, see where it goes. So come on, here we go. Are we ready? Sorry, that was too much ramble. Pick your position, sit or stand. And as always, we have lots of external support if you need. Really solid supports to help us feel more confident in stand if required. So here's the circulation boost. Here's that minute or so, especially in the morning, to just literally boost the circulation and start to be more mindful of a more upright posture. This circulation boost is a walk, is a march on the spot, and once you've started to move, then start to think more about how your feet, toes and ankles are moving. Now, if it helps to have a glance down just to see what's going on, you may need to do that, and there's lots of value in that. So have a glance. Have you got a gap between your feet, for example? This will help with balance. Are you really peeling the heels off? Once you've had a good old look, can you then look ahead and think and feel about those movements? As and when you're ready, bring in one arm. If you're on support, alternate. Two when you're ready. Keep going with that. Seated prompts. We are going to hip walk forward. This will help us move more freely, and the value of this in itself is really significant and relates directly to moving in and out of bed, moving in and out of car seats, the bath, the floor, for example. Our circ boost is here. You might want to start on the upper body first, arms or legs or both together. Have a glance again. If we can have a glance, that really gives us more information to see what's happening, because perhaps that for some reason you may not be able to feel what's happening. So it's important to see sometimes what's going on. Here's the arms for seated, one or two all together. And if you feel comfortable and happy to, just join those together. And in stand, we're the same. Always with support if you need, or freely standing if you're happy. On this upper body, a little bit more focus on shoulders. This shoulder mobility, this movement is really critical when we find ourselves lying, be that in the bath, be that in bed, be that on the floor. So all of this stuff directly relates to mobility in all our positions through daily life, through stand, through sit, through lie. Whew. Am I breath? I think it's because I talk too much. You should just feel just a deeper breath, and we just injected, we boosted that circulation, done exactly what we wanted to do, so we can now focus on mobility. Support always if you need. This is a good one. If you're confident to stand but with support, this is a good one to do because the rest of the body is really still and static. So you could power up to a stand, get yourself up to stand, get yourself to some support, and we can take the shoulder rolls here. So you don't have to stay seated just because you started seated, is what I'm saying here. Here's the movement. Now this is significant for all activities of daily living whereby we use the upper body and the arms. But if you think about when we're laying down in bed, and quite often our shoulders are restricted because we're laying on them. So we need even more mobility in a way when we're in lying positions. Head stays still, focus on that backward move there. Just 3, 4 or 5 of those. Take your time, don't rush, quality over quantity. In sit or stand, I'm only on one knee so you can see what's going on. Moving up now into the neck. Now anything that involves shoulders and lying positions majorly require neck mobility. It's how we sleep, it's how we move. So just kind of consider that also. We're potentially very, very mobile when we sleep. Potentially, not all of us. Take a pause. So this is focusing on just this movement here, head, shoulders, head is still. Take your time. If you are doing this in stand, loads of support. I don't want your balance challenged. Any head movement may challenge your balance to a lesser or greater degree. Just feel how that is for you. Take your time. Last one for neck, turning sideways so you get my best side. The old jokes are the worst. There's the reference point and it's a ease back. Now interestingly, this movement now, if you imagine yourself lying on a pillow, and just press the head into the pillow, that's the exact movement. So when you're lying next in bed, have a feel of that, because that's the same movement we're trying to do here. But obviously the head is in a very different position. Okay, are you taking notes? There's going to be a short test at the end. Maybe some kind of submission of a case study. I'm joking. Of course not. A little bit of circ boost, a little bit of circ boost, a little bit of that. Whatever you feel you want to do, just to have a release, and you might want a pit stop, and let's move into the trunk. Now here's the big deal when it comes to lying positions. We've got to get this trunk moving. It's connected to the shoulders and the arms, and that's connected to the neck. So that's why all these mobility movements integrate. So here we go. Wider feet in sit, really anchored, loads of buttocks, find your glutes, give them a squeeze, and take that slow turn just to a point that's comfortable for you. Pause in the middle, round the other way. Nothing else moves. If you feel you're tiring in the middle, have a pause and reset. So we're trying to improve this mobility on a lengthened posture, on a lengthened spine. Take your time. You might want to bring the arms around that. There's real value in bringing the arms with this. We need these arms and the trunk to work together when we're in lying positions, most definitely. Plus we're probably pushing up from the bath, or pushing up from the garden, or pushing up from the bed. In stand, let me just give you a few extra prompts. Remember, wider base, facing support. I don't want you to feel your balance is challenged here, so take up as much support as you want and just feel this turn. Relax the arms. Relax the arms. Let them find their way. I try and keep these hips still. If I turn this way to sit so you can see. And this movement, if you take a look at the video that I posted last night, when we come up into sit positions from garden, from floor, from bed, we need this little bit of a turn through the trunk. Okay, so side bends now. In stand first, if you know what's coming in seated, do continue, of course. More support, the wider the feet, the more steady and stable we are. Rock solid from hips down, and we're going to take a bend and come straight back. Take a bend and come straight back. Don't stay down there. It's mobility, so it moves and comes back. And you might want to keep support or face onto support. You may want to glide the hand down the side. Keep balanced across both feet, and that's as important, as significant in chair. Buttocks are the anchors, remember, so use them. Loads of activity going on around the hips and the buttocks. And we're going to take the bend here and come straight back again. Rest, pause in the middle. Let's go for quality movement. I'm hoping you can feel and see that if we can improve these kind of foundations of mobility, getting out in the garden, getting out of the bath, cleaning your low-level cupboards will all become so much easier when we need to get off the floor. Back extensions, ready? Anchor feet, steady and stable. We've talked a lot about this one. This is up to upright posture plus an extra squeeze and come back out. Don't stay there, keep the gaze forward. No, I don't want you looking up, I don't want the head going back. The gaze stays forward. Now, when I do this, there's a bog off here, there's a free benefit here. We've been talking about this arm going in position to help with guiding that movement. But quite often when we need to get out the bath or off the floor, we need that position as well. We need that degree of mobility. So there's so much in. Although we're focusing on the mobility of the back, I'm crowbarring in an extra shoulder. See what I did there? Don't tell anyone, it's your secret only. Same in seated. Here we go. It's a lift and an extend. And again, either one arm round into position or the other. If you do them one at a time, you'll really be able to gauge how your shoulder mobility is. And an understanding about our mobility helps us make better decisions when we do need to get up. If I know I'm better on my left or my right, that's going to dictate which way I roll and try to push, for example. Anyway, I'm getting too excited this morning. Where are we? Ankles. I wanted to do something extra here, actually. I wanted to think about hip mobility a little bit more, if I can indulge you for an extra thing. Now, in seated, for this one, I'd like you to hip walk back so you take up more support under the thigh. And to just explore how much range of movement you have on your knee, not this way in extension, but this way in flexion. So can you creep that leg back a bit? Can we try the other leg? And you can use the foot to take the weight of that. So you can either just lift and ease it back, or you can take little steps back to see how much range of movement you have in your knee. Now in standing, we can do this in standing. I don't want you to challenge your balance, so take up loads of support. I'm leaning on this, I've got my hand on this. I'm just going to slide my foot back and I'm just going to pick up the foot this way and place it down again. So I'm using support and I'm just exploring my knee flexion. And then to do the other one, I'm here. How does that feel? Lots of other stuff going on here, but for now, it's mobility. And then while you're in stand, again, lots of support. How are you on a slightly higher knee? How does that feel on a slightly higher knee? We need to be able to lift these knees up when we're getting up from lower positions. So just a couple of those and just kind of go, can I pick that knee up? Okay, enough. Ankles to finish then, folks. So in seated, come forward. That's a complete line. Come back again, stay where you are. Flip it up like this, and here's the other critical one. Now we've talked about picking up the toes for when we walk, but there's another reason why that push this way is so important. That downward press, that extension here. And that's when we find ourselves in kneeling, we need lots of ankle activity and mobility across this position here. And there's a point in the video, you have a look, that you'll see what I mean by that. That's your homework, have a look at that. Or you could just trust me if you want. But I'd rather you went back and had a look. Okay, let's hip walk forward. Last bit then in stand. Here's the ankles in standing, or if you prefer, we can take that into that functional step. Heel off, heel down. And of course, just to finish, because I think it feels like I've made this a kind of functional floor Friday. Let's just have a last bit of mobility on the shoulders. Now these actions, as you can see, from lying positions, we need a lot of shoulder mobility. So just crowbar in a little bit more mobility there on shoulders. Give yourself a little rest, a little peek. A few heel raises just to power us into the day. A few heel raises into your daisies. We're going to come to sit to stands and jockey lifts, and as it's functional for Floor Friday, we're going to do some pressing activities to get up off the floor, off the bath, out the garden, and all that stuff. I think it's a functional Floor Friday. There's lots of positives. There's lots of positives about mobilising and rolling around on the floor, but we won't talk about that. We'll be back at 12 o'clock. Strength focus, crowbar in some heel raises, some jockey lifts, and if you get a chance to go back and have a look at that video, hopefully all the extra blurb I've said this morning will resonate more. And I think I prefer Funky Floor Friday, Leslie. I think that's yours. Can we use that? Is it copyrighted? Can we have it? Thanks, folks. Delighted that so many of you are still tuning in, and see you back at 12 for a different focus, but we're still on we're still on a Funky Floor Friday, but we're going to look at a bit of strength. See you there.